today I will be cooking a recipe from the Food of France. It's a cookbook. It looks like this has a lot of good recipes in it. It's venison with blackberry sauce. And the first thing we're going to be doing is preparing the pearl onions that go in the dish. So first, for the pearl onions, you'll want to blanch them in boiling water just to soften the skin up so you can peel it off. And then all you do is you just go to the root and cut about 3/4 of the way through and peel off the skin. And you want to make sure you get the first tough layer off too. And then you are left with a perfect little bulb. And I've already done the rest of them, so those are done. For a side dish, we have fingerling potatoes, which will go really well with the venison and soak up a lot of the sauce. We're just gonna prepare it with some olive oil, basil, and garlic powder. Alright, so that looks good. Oops. They take around 45 minutes to an hour to cook, so you can just check on them as everything else is being done periodically. To start off cooking the onions, we need clarified butter, and you're just going to heat up a saucepan and put about a tablespoon in. And then you just put the pearl onions in. So while the pearl onions are getting golden brown, you can start on the sauce and just put the blackberries all in a saucepan. Then you add 3 tablespoons water and red currant jelly. Mix it around and then turn your stove on down to a medium-low heat. And you want to bring it to a boil. Don't forget to stir the pearl onions so that they don't brown too dark. So the pearl onions have a nice golden brown texture to them, and they're about done, so you can turn the heat off and just let them rest in the pot. And it looks like the sauce is starting to boil. And once that starts to boil, you just want to let it continue to boil for about 5 minutes. So for the meat, we have, well, first of all, you want to get your pan going so it gets to be extra hot because you want the meat to sear upon contact. And you also want to place the meat, the cut sign down, so it's not going with the grain. But this meat is a yearling buck that was shot in northwestern Minnesota up by Fergus Falls. And it was butchered down in the cities by the hunters themselves. And the yearling bucks and the does are the best tasting because they're not as tough, and they also don't have as gamey texture as the deer that you normally think of with the huge antlers that bring in all the trophies. Those don't taste as good. And so this should be pretty tasty. And the meat is also pre-seasoned with olive oil and then salt and pepper to taste. It has been cut into medallions, and it's from the back strap. So now I'm adding about another tablespoon of clarified butter. So I'm just flipping the meat. You want to make sure it has a nice golden brown texture on top. That's why you want to get the pan so hot, because if you don't get it that hot before, then it won't sear. And it really doesn't take that long to cook, and I like my meat extra rare, so it really doesn't take that long for me. So once it's done, you can just put it all in a bowl. Put the juice in with it. And then just cover it up with a piece of tin foil to stay warm. In the same pan, we're going to heat it to pretty hot, but about a medium. And we're adding a 1/4 cup of a rustic red French wine. We're going to add about 1 2/3 cup brown stock, or we just have beef broth here. And then you want to put the heat back up to a high. While that's still reducing, don't forget about the potatoes. And these look nice and golden brown, and you can just set those off to the side. While that's reducing, you can put 2 teaspoons flour, 2 teaspoons butter together, and just mash them up. So now that it's reduced by about half, you add the butter flour mixture. And then you have to whisk it in. So after adding the flour butter mixture, you just want to make sure that it gets whisked in really well and that there's no chunks. And then after that's about simmered for like about a minute or so, you can add the berry mixture. Just mix that around a little bit. After it has simmered for a little bit, you can taste it and make sure that's how you like, and just turn it off and let it cool a little bit. It's very good. The berry sauce goes really well with the venison, and it doesn't taste gamey at all. This is an easy, it's not super easy, but it's not super hard either, and is a realistic meal just to make.